GreenKeeper pre-beta checks scorecards.
Next one we're coming on to is Scorecard. And predominantly this is just making sure that you've remembered to fill in the description, you remember to fill in and tick the boxes that apply. So mountain and coastal is a choice made on this one. Now, yeah, I guess it is coastal and I guess it is in the mountains. So that's absolutely fine. But obviously you can pick and choose these. These will get used at some point, so keep ticking them. The big one on here is obviously you can now look and make sure your yardages line up how you want. So we checked our T's already, but you can now see a visual sort of that they are all okay. And the big one here would be ratings. So as part of 216, we've got the ratings and slope calculator. I'd advise using that at all times, unless you haven't got the information, in which case you can still enter it manually down here. But yeah, this tool I think makes it a lot easier to do. So click on our calculator. If you haven't already done this, you probably have already done it, and if you have, then you don't feel the need to do it again because it won't be wrong. But in this case, we can see that it hasn't been done this way, and we've got a yellow rating that's higher than a white rating. We generally, or we do, advise set these all as men's ratings. The days of a yellow rating, I think, or like a women's rating, I don't think that's going to last much longer, personally. In a world where handicapping should be somewhat universal, putting a rating higher for different sexes of people, or different genders, which I would like to say, this doesn't seem to sit well with me. So I use men's ratings anyway. And we've got this open blue golf in browser button. So we can just go in here and we can find our course and just check this. So blue golf, generally you'll get some criticise it at times because it doesn't match the real scorecard. In my experience so far, whenever you compare the blue golf data to the USGA database data, the blue golf data is often correct. And it's actually the real life scorecards that haven't been updated for years that are wrong. But obviously check it by all means. But yeah, generally blue golf's been pretty good, apart from the odd occasion. So if you've got a real scorecard, check that. You can also obviously check it on the USGA ratings database. And you can put your course in here. The problem with using this, and why I'd say blue golf, is you can see we can find Port Ludlow, and it'll tell us our T name and our rating, but it won't, and I've even it splits it front line and back line, which could be useful, but it won't tell us the yardage. So we're relying on colours and things like that. Whereas the blue golf, as we'll see, does give us the yardage, which we'll input into our calculator. But you'll see 74 140 it's got, 74 140. Blue it's got 70.6 130, 70.6 130. Whereas on the real cards, it's got a black of 73 5 134, which isn't what the USGA say it is, and isn't what, and your handicap would be using the USGA rating, not the one printed on this card. So I would say, in general, like I say, by all means check it, and it might be that the real card matches. I've zoomed in here. The real card matches the USGA one, and blue golf's wrong. But in my experience thus far, that has not been the case. Blue golf has been correct. So, yeah, we'll just type these all in. So I tend to just go through it in length. 6305. An important thing to check on this actually is on the tees. Coming to tees, you can like drop down and pick them all. I like to use the profile because it's quicker. But make sure that all the ones that it's showing are men's ratings. Sometimes it'll throw ladies' ones in there. So just make sure they're all like that. And you can click through and do it that way, or profile I just find it's a bit quicker. So 6305, 6012. And just try and get it so it encapsulates your yardages on your course, because they won't necessarily always match these exactly. 5957, and you've got 5353. Typing John. And there is an extra one. Is there an extra shorter one? If we go into our T's, below 5353. Yeah, so we've got another one here, so 5124. So we've encapsulated all of our T's now, so these ratings will come out really good. You might have to go into the individual T's to find other ones. So 65.4113, 65.4113. And then I'll go back to profile now and just go through. So 74.140. Make sure you enter them correctly. 70.6130. 69.7125. 69.5. And you don't have to enter them all either, but I try and encapsulate or get close to your yardages if nothing else. And you can see I've entered more than the T's we've got here. That's fine as well. The tool will work it all out for you. 119. So we press calculate, and it'll now adjust and give us a recommendation of my course ratings and slopes. And then you can see these were set slightly differently to that. And set them. It'll automatically fill those in. It automatically fills in the junior and par 3s to the course par and the par for par 3s. Yeah, and it adjusts the course difficulty to be correct. It's just you need to do that. I think that's an important part. If you've already done it when you've made your course, obviously this wouldn't be something you'd have to check because you've done it. But yeah, just make sure that this is something that's done. Make sure this reads correctly. So spell check this. Yeah, and that's checking your scorecard.